With the announcement of Phase 3 coming on June 20th and Trial of the Grand Crusader opening up on June 22nd, we are officially in the Phase 3 waiting room. With just under a month until the next phase drops, many people are wondering what to do between then and now. In this video, I am going to talk about what I am doing to prepare for Phase 3 and what you can do in Wrath to keep yourself busy between Phase 3 launch and now. The first thing that I'm doing is preparing my alts for Heroic++ or Defense Protocol Beta. These dungeons are going to be dropping 10-man Ulduar loot as well as badges and sidereal essences. Bosses in Heroic++ will be dropping Conquest tokens, making Tier Helm and Shoulders easy to pick up, as well as 5 badges of Triumph per day from the daily Heroic++. The end boss of each Heroic++ dungeon will drop 1 sidereal essence, which you can spend to buy 10-man hard mode pieces from Ulduar. The prices on the vendor for these items are currently looking like this, so I would suggest looking through here and picking a few pieces to target. Of course, on your main, you probably know what pieces you're missing, like Meteorite Crystal, Caress of Insanity, or Dark Matter, but if you are gearing up a fresh character, it will definitely help you to research a bit of your BIS list first. I'm going to put out another video going more in depth on gearing up a fresh character or alt soon, but what I am doing for now to prepare my characters for Heroic++ is, first, I see what BOE items are on the auction house for cheap. BOEs will of course vary in price from server and day, and also depending on the piece itself, as this belt may be cheap, but the Shattered Giant's Shawl is going for a bit more, and same with this tanking ring. While these will vary in gold, I still believe it is a good starting point to get you some early gear score and get you into some of these Heroic+ dungeons. After this, depending on if you are in a guild or how cheap ruined orbs are on the auction house on your server, you can grab 12 of these and craft your epic belt and epic boots to give you a real step up in gearing. Some of the boots, like Footpads of Silence, end up being true BIS for a few specs and close to BIS for many others. I would again suggest you look at your BIS list for Phase 2 and 3 to get an idea of which items are good for you so that you can get the most value out of those items. Many of these items will be replaced quickly in Phase 3, so only go for them if they are cost effective and if they are worth it for your class and spec. From my experience on the PTR, the Heroic++ dungeons were not as difficult as the Defense Protocol Alpha or Heroic+ dungeons, the ones that were released last patch and they offer Naxxramas gear as opposed to the new ones that are going to offer Ulduar gear. As long as you're following the mechanics, many of them are designed to give a damage buff and should allow lower gear score eye levels to complete them. I have heard the same sentiment from other people that they thought they were easier than actual Heroic+, but I will confirm this after launch when I tank a few of them on my 4k gear score Prot Warrior and then start healing them on my fresh 80 Priest. The next thing that I'm doing ties into the first, and that is leveling up ults. I'm sure most of you are already doing this as we have the new Joyous Journeys buff out now. I'm preparing a Priest and a Mage for Phase 3 while Joyous Journeys is active. That will leave me with just a Rogue at 61 and then a Warlock as the final 2 classes I have to level up on Wrath of the Lich King. Not everyone is like me and enjoys leveling everything, but if you do have interest in getting another class up, now is the time. I've seen people level extremely fast, and if you have a decent amount of time to play, you could probably hit 80 before June 22nd if you went hard. I myself use Rested XP, which I highly recommend if you just want to turn off your brain and binge Netflix. You can use the add-on for free up to a certain level, and if you want to pay a one-time fee for the guide, you can use my code to get 5% off your purchase here and support my channel. The next thing that I'm doing is getting my professions up. Yes, on my main characters like Death Knight, Holy Pally, and Hunter, I already have max professions, however my ults have been lacking for a while. Once you've had engineering gloves on a DPS character, or even a healer for that matter, it's pretty hard to go back. I've found myself playing a shaman and druid a lot in the last 2 months, but I've not leveled engineering on either of those characters until recently. I finished leveling up engineering on my druid the other day, and now I just need to do it on my shaman as well as alchemy. When the priest and mage get up there, I'm not sure if I'm going to have it in me to get their professions up immediately, but maybe if I do start to play them on the regular, I will. At this point in the phase, my guilds have most of the content on farm, so I've been taking the opportunity to try out some different roles, classes, and specs in Ulduar. I mentioned that I've been gearing up my Druid and my Shaman. Both of those classes are now above 4800 gear score, and I'm working on gearing their other specs as well. I've killed 10-man Algalon with both of those classes, and I am gearing Feral spec on the Druid to try out Feral DPS and Feral tank. I've now killed both Algalon 25-man and Yogg Zero Light as both a Blood Death Knight DPS and a Marksmanship Hunter, which was a lot of fun. I do hope that Blood Death Knight DPS ends up scaling well in ICC because it is so fun to play. I've also recently started to try tanking in 10-man Ulduar on Blood Death Knight as well, as my tank gear has come along nicely. If your guild has flexibility for you to try other classes or specs or roles in the 10-man or the 25-man, I would go ahead and do so now. You may find a new ult you really want to gear in ToGC, or even find a new main if you like it enough. ToGC is going to be such an amazing time for gearing up characters that I think you may be missing out if you don't have at least one max level ult to play, but that's just my opinion. And then the last thing I'm doing while waiting for phase 3 is playing other games. You should too. It's been a long phase in Ulduar, and although I've had a blast, I'm looking forward to Diablo 4, and I've been playing some Cyberpunk 2077 recently too. Even though I don't plan to make any content on those games, it's good to get away from WoW for a while before a new phase drops, just so you don't feel burned out on day one when ToGC drops. Most guilds will still be running Ulduar next phase as well, so it's going to be good to pace yourself accordingly. I personally think phase 3 is going to be a blast, and you can tell that I'm especially excited about Heroic++ and gearing all of my ults through that system. Of course, everyone loves getting loot and gearing up their characters, but it will be nice to be able to world tour again with my guildies or just jump into some content that isn't a full raid or a super huge time investment, while still having it be useful to my character in some way. It's a great time to be an ultaholic with Sidereal Essence on its way, and I cannot wait. If you guys enjoyed the video today, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys are looking forward to Heroic++ and you are on Grobulus, make sure to add me. And if you are ever on Twitch, make sure to drop a follow to LinkWow on Twitch, as when Heroic++ drops, I will be streaming all day doing Heroic++ dungeons and gearing out my ults. If you're on Grobulus Alliance, feel free to hit me up and we can group up for some of those dungeons. And make sure just to follow me on Twitch because I stream almost every single night except for Sundays. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.